Hello, ahoy, howdy, hooey. Here's another edition of the Game Eye Podcast, your place for all sports, video games, pop culture, and everything in between. Thank you for having us in your mobile phone or laptop or whatever device you're using, as long as you're listening via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, and Anchor. This is Chip, and I got my boy Carlo with me as per usual.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, there you go. First off, guys, a huge thanks to you who have been picking up on our episodes so far. Of course, to our Pinoy listeners. Salamat sa pagkinig. But interestingly, we are being picked up around the world, so not just locally, Carlo. Shout out to those streaming from the US, Germany, Vietnam, we know who you are, Canada, Kuwait, Peru, Australia, New Zealand, and believe it or not, the Czech Republic. No matter who you are or where you're from, big thanks for supporting us.
That is so awesome to hear. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for listening.
Alright, Carlo, what are we up to tonight pala?
Well, Chip, we know that being stuck at home with little to no chance at all of getting out is pretty stressful. You know, this has been, like what we said, I think a few episodes ago, that this is a year into our quarantine, right? And one of the things that we definitely miss is going to the movies. Don't you miss going to the movies, pre?
Yeah, cinema. Yung mismong feeling na nasa theater. Nasa sinehan ka. Sa theater, di ba?
Sa theater
I miss going to I miss going to the movies, man. Seeing the movies in the silver screen, as they say.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I miss the, movie-going experience itself. Having a popcorn, some snacks.
Yeah.
Just, dark room and just enjoying a new movie. And most movie-going experiences that we have normally, right, is it's a new movie every week or every month. We get to see something that's new based on the trailers that we see. Anyway, so for the most part,
do you remember the last movie na napanood mo nun sa
God.
sinehan?
That's actually a good question. I was trying to remember when I was preparing our episode for this week, and I can't remember, but it has been that long. If I'm not mistaken, I watched. You know what? I'm not gonna say it because I don't obviously remember it right now. I was really doing my best to remember the last movie I watched at the cinemas, but I can't, man. How about you? Do you remember that?
Siguro on top of my head would be The Joker. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that in BGC. Tapos, alam mo yung feeling na after mo panoorin, kailangan mong manood ng Friends or something light.
Actually,
to really take the heavy weight of that dark movie. Yun yung pinakahuling naalala ko na panood sa sinehan. I mean, that's on top of it. I forget kung meron ako napanood after nun.
Yeah, I apologize if I laughed when you said na medyo heavy yung themes ni Joker. Pero, it was That's why I laughed, because it was. I mean, I had the same feeling as you going into the movie. And after the movie, rather, na, alam mo yun, sobrang bigat niya talaga. I mean, I can't believe it. It was a good movie, first of all. It was a very good movie. And it was several iterations na din ng character ng Joker in the DC universe, right? This is not like the first interpretation of the Joker character. We saw a lot of great performances with the Joker. Anyway, but the Joker wasn't the last movie I watched. I watched it with a couple of friends, Ray Tai and Dan Barawid. You guys will know who you are. And we actually watched it twice. One with my girlfriend, and then one with Ray and Dan.
Talaga twice yung pinanood.
Oo, yun nga. I was about to ask you kung maniniwala ka ba sa akin na I really watched it twice. And yes, I mean, both, it was good, but sobrang heavy niya. And yeah, I mean, so for the most part.
You know what? I remember it now. I don't think it was the last movie that I watched, pero before the pandemic hit, it was the most, perhaps nearing the pandemic, and yun yung most memorable movie-going experience ko because of what the movie
it stood out.
Showed, diba? So,
it stood out.
Going back, man, medyo nalis na rin tayo sa ating pag-uusapan.
No, that's fine. But because that's important, right? And that's what we want to parang share with our listeners this evening or this today rather when it comes to the movie going experience, because for the most part, right, our movie experience right now, as in literally right now, is going to where your TV is, fixing up a snack. Well, at least at convenience yun, right? You're not paying for it. You're just, buying
so, technically, bumili ka pa rin
cheaper.
Something, di ba?
Oh, bumili ka pa rin. Or,
uh-oh,
the benefit of having to just cook something for yourself or, fixing something na you can find on your fridge. But anyway, the fixing up a snack, going to your living room or your bedroom and streaming the movies online. And for the most part, we are getting a lot of new movies either through Netflix or Amazon Prime. Personally, I'm getting a new movie, like I said in our last episode. You see Justice League, I watched that through HBO Go. So, and other streaming channels that either, we have a lot of remakes of old classics, in addition to a trilogy perhaps, or even sequels, right? So that's the topic for today. We will be talking about these types of movies. Are they living up to their legacies? Are they any better? Or are these movies just, raining on the parade? Right? I mean, are they good enough? Bad enough? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Take a look at this. An example na lang dito, Carlo. Top Gun Maverick, the sequel to the 1986 classic. Honestly, I was super excited when the trailer came out for this. Kaso nagkaroon ng scheduling conflicts, and then the pandemic hit. The release keeps on being pushed further and further. Instead of I think 2019 or 2020 ba? It was held out. Tapos biglang sabi, aantayin nila for another year. And then now this year, 2021. On hold for Paramount Plus Paramount, right? Because this is where we expect the movie to be released. It's either going to be in the cinema or right now I last heard na sa streaming din ata siya through Paramount Plus, diba? So, yeah.
It's actually very exciting, It's very exciting. I mean, Paramount Plus, that's going to be like a battery of really great movies under the studio and
under
then
the
competing
Paramount banner,
under the Paramount banner. Tapos it's also a streaming service and direct competitors to Netflix. So it's going to be an interesting year for us, definitely, for movies. But like what I said, Top Gun is actually a classic. It was released in the 80s, and I'm actually excited too when I saw the trailer. I'm also gonna be putting out there Kingsman. So I'm not sure if you watch the Golden Circle and yung Kingsman.
I've only seen the first
Service,
one.
Something.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one.
But yeah, the first one. But this one is kind of more of a pre-movie prequel something toward the story na it's Ralph Fiennes starring Ralph Fiennes and such. But I'm putting it out there as one of the movies I was really excited to watch in the silver screen sa cinema sana. But the question to you, Chip, how do you feel about an updated Top Gun? I mean, we like I mentioned, 80s movie siya, right? Or 90s movie. And then we have 80s. this updated version of it. How do you feel about that?
It's different. I thought it could be a standalone movie. Don't create a sequel. They were supposed to create a sequel, I think in the early 90s or late 80s, a few years after it came out. And then later on, developments, I think in the early part of the millennium, or rather in the early 2010s, nagkaroon ng developments yan with the old director, Tony Scott, who should have been the one to direct. But the guy passed away. Passed away, sadly. And then it was put on hold for a while. Pero Tom Cruise was apparently, he was really geared to have this done, by hook or by crook. He's gonna get this done. So he pulled out. He was able to go through some. I think there was a new director now for Top Gun 2. Si Joseph Kosinski, I think. He is more famous for Oblivion, which
right.
I think
I like that.
Tom Cruise was the actor was the main actor in that one. Tron Legacy, the sequel. I actually like that one. I haven't seen Oblivion, so pero in Tron Legacy. So, and the trailer. I've seen there were, I think, 2 or 3 versions of the trailer of Top Gun Maverick. Then the second trailer was like I kept watching it siguro in one sitting. Siguro nakalupa ko ng 5 times by just watching it.
Stig, diba?
I felt that rush, I felt that rush. I felt that excitement. And yung feeling na parang it gave me that feeling of when I was a kid na napanood ko siya sa VHS. That was actually when I saw it, no? So, I'm excited for it. That's what I can tell you, man. So,
absolutely,
well,
yeah.
So that's where we'll start, no? Remaking movies, the yays or nays or of these kinds of flicks. Top Gun Maverick is a yay for me. No matter what happens, I am looking forward to that. Pero before we go through, I know it's kind of late to do this, but we are going to do our high five of the week.
Yep.
Wherein we just want to share some positive vibes out there, most especially at these times when COVID cases are continue to rise. It seems that there is no light at the end of the tunnel, and it's just really unfortunate that I know people who are I personally know people who are infected by it. So it's time to just to put it on the flip side. Let's just share some positivity for this one. What's your high five of the week, pare?
Well, this is more of a personal note, so just sharing with everyone. Well, the pandemic, like as we said, has caused a lot of consternation on our part, a lot of grief, anxiety. And, for the most part, we have a lot of people who are looking for jobs, right? Even if the pandemic might have directly affected that. But for me personally, I was affected, during the last year. But happy to say, at least this is going to be my highlight for this week, is I'm starting a new job by Monday.
Oh, nice.
Next
Congrats.
week. Yeah. Thank you. And I'm looking forward. I'm anxious to start. It's going to be a new opportunity for me. It's kind of different from what I have been doing in the past. But it's still, some of it is still, very similar to, my experience as an HR professional. But yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to start my new job by Monday. Yeah, that's my high five.
Cool. You know what? I'll high five to that. I don't think any of my high five this week. I would like to share a lot of positivity, kung tutuusin, but you know what? The stage belongs to that high five because that is definitely something worth celebrating. No, I'll high five to that. No, I'll high five to what you mentioned. Because that is definitely something worth celebrating. And man, all the best to you. All the best to you in your work.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Cool.
So we're gonna, you take the lead on this one because these are some of the things that you mentioned to me before. In the last episode, I took the lead on these sports movies that I told you about, right? That we had an NCAA tournament style in our last episode. Why don't you take the lead on this one?
Sure, Ben. So here's what we did basically for this episode. Chip and I thought about the movies that we like, right? And this goes beyond basketball or any other sports movie. And this is in general why we're talking about. So we've seen a lot of trends, right? Ang dami natin nakikita ang patterns in the movie industry right now. There's still a lot of, I guess, there's a good balance of original movies versus movies that are being either remade, rebooted, or revised. I don't know what the other terms are. But take for example, let's say I'm gonna pick out from my top of my head here. Let's say Fantastic Four. This is a movie that obviously may version na yun, right? May version na yun.
Yeah, there was
a couple of versions already, right?
There were 2 prior to that. Are you talking about Are you talking about the most recent one?
The
one that bombed?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I just have to say it out there, man. I just have to say it out there. It really bombed.
It bombed,
it wasn't
on
fantastic.
Your side.
It wasn't fantastic. That's what I can say.
It wasn't fantastic at all because if we're comparing that with the original one, or if we can call it the original one, which is the one with Chris Evans before he took on the Captain America role where he was the Human Torch. It wasn't really, so you said it bombed. For me, it was a bad movie because it did not have any cohesiveness to it. So, which obviously resulted to the bombing part of it, right? And yeah, I mean, then that's where I want to redirect the attention to some of the movies that I like personally. For example, The Mummy. We all know The Mummy is a great franchise from, with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz for the first original 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that's the Mummy, the Mummy Returns, and then there's the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. So that was like a...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right? Remember
third,
that?
Yung pala yung third. Okay, so hindi ko maalala yung third eh. Okay,
correct.
Go.
The third one actually was, already a signal for me. It was a parang red flag na Rachel Weisz wasn't really there already, or not really there, but she wasn't there totally. And wala na yung parang adventure spirit ng movie na yon that I got from 1 and 2. And the director was changed, so it wasn't the original director from the original 2 movies. And the fourth one, which is the 2017 version, where it was starring Tom Cruise, supposedly this was an attempt to revive the monster universe of Universal Pictures, because apart from that they have Van Helsing, they have Frankenstein, and so on. And it was supposed to be a reboot, but it just lost some of it. It lost some of it on its way when it was created. It felt rushed when I watched that. Tom Cruise, sure, he gives the star power to that movie, pero yung cohesiveness basically ng movie overall, nawala na siya ng charm. And it wasn't really the Mummy theme na we were getting from the parang medyo swashbuckling adventure pa nga 1 and 2 eh. So that's where we want to parang try ko to compare, pre. Maybe you have movies on your end, something.
Wait, so that's a no for you. So that's a no.
No, that's a big no for me. The Mummy 2017, no. Yeah, it's a big no for me. Well, what about you?
I think this could ruffle some feathers with this one. A no remake for me would be Coming to America, the second one.
Oh man, really?
That's a no for me. I can't say it's a hard no, pero I still appreciated, and I tried to I tried to make something, I tried to find out something, or I tried to tell something good about this one. I think ang pinakita kasi doon is that I thought it kind of lost that charm that the original Coming to America brought.
Right.
Ang one takeaway ko dun is that kasi the story is about, he has a son apparently out of wedlock, and this son is the heir to the throne. And then yung the prince apparently seems to be out of touch with how it is to be in royalty. Diba? Parang dinadala niya yung pagiging queen's personality niya to the throne. Pero it was more than that eh. I mean, from the soundtrack, from the references, to it was kind of split in the middle. May mga references from the old from the original one. Tapos may mga references to present na parang hindi nagagets nila Eddie Murphy, yung character ni Eddie Murphy. So I thought what I can take away from that is the part na there was really that world of Coming to America na original fans of the original movie, and then there could be the ones who could be fans of the new edition, of the new blood, of the new ways. Parang ang nangyari nga, I think one good thing that I can say also is there were people who saw that, who can appreciate it, but at the same time there were those na pumasok they were introduced to that new thing of what Coming to America is. So it's like a mix of both worlds. As for me, parang natuwa lang ako doon sa mga references, the past references that it had. Doon ako natuwa. Hindi siya pilit, honestly. Hindi siya pilit. It wasn't trying hard. and it was weaved into the story really smoothly. Again, hindi siya pilit yung dating.
Okay.
That's still a no for me kasi again, it wasn't like the same impact that I saw in the 90s. I mean, I wasn't able to watch it in the theater, no, in the theaters no 80s, obviously, because wala pa akong malay nun. But I saw it for the first time on HBO. And parang I was hooked on it. I was like, okay, this is a nice movie.
It's a funny movie. Yeah.
It was a funny movie. It really got to me. I like the humor, I like the comedy of it. Pero this one, it's like it tried to talk certain heartstrings. Na parang for me, I just wasn't feeling it. So that's one of my no's. Ikaw nga, round up mo nga yung mga no's mo. Like, what do you think are the no's that you've seen?
Yeah, the no's for me, so for everybody listening, we have a table that Chip and I came up with just to list down, the no's and the yays for remakes and reboots that we have watched personally. So my no's is Jumanji: The Next Level. Again, the Mummy, the 2017 version, Fantastic Four, which I really hate. Tomb Raider 2018. This is going to be an interesting discussion between the two of us. Okay. Yes, really. Indiana Jones: Kingdom of the Lost Skull. Probably one of my, I would say this is a heart-sinking movie comparing it to the original franchise. This is the way, I guess, how Star Wars fans would react to the new trilogies compared to the old one. Ghostbusters 2016, at least the latest version, and just probably just a segment of it because I am very selective when it comes to musicals. So Mary Poppins Returns.
That's your not mine.
Yeah, those are my no's. If there will be details on that soon, but yeah, what about your no's, pre?
I already mentioned Coming to America 2. Fantastic Four, napag-usapan na natin.
Yep.
I didn't like Bill and Ted Face the Music, which came out sometime last year. I think it was middle of last year.
There was a lot of hype with that, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of hype in it. It came out, I think, around July or August 2020 whereabouts, because I just saw it in my honestly, I saw it in my box. The box that I use, right? So, sure. I didn't like it. Parang pilit siya. I thought the script was shallow. I mean, I'm sure Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, they were trying to revive the old rock and roll Bill and Ted from the 90s and the 80s in that film. Believe it or not, Carlo, even though I didn't like this one, Rotten Tomatoes had it in the 80s.
Wow.
Of being like, so this is parang, seryoso? When I saw that one, I was surprised, but when I really saw the movie, and this happens rarely, and as much as possible, I really try to find the good in these movies that I watch.
Right.
Pero in the middle of it, I was like, I can't wait for this movie to be over. So talagang pinilit ko na sarili ko to finish it. Nice. Just for the sake of finishing it. Parang ayoko naman mag-prejudge, but watching the whole movie, was it torture?
Probably.
Probably. I mean, from the sound of it, from the looks of it, maybe. But Rotten Tomatoes. Sorry, I disagree with you on this one. There are times I disagree with Rotten Tomatoes. So no, that's a no for me. Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Okay.
Sure,
okay.
It was A for effort, but it was a no for me.
Is there more to your list?
Well, I would like to go about the yes on my list.
Okay.
Na lang.
Okay.
Because I know later in this podcast we're gonna have some. You like this movie, I don't like that movie. We're gonna have that. But to round up my yeses muna, Tom and Jerry the movie, the recent Tom and Jerry movie. I like that because it was a light movie. It was still centered around Tom Cat and Jerry Mouse. Yung kanilang, the cat and mouse chase, right?
Right.
Between the two of them, it really brought me back to my childhood. I posted it on Facebook before. Na it reminded me of Cartoon Network in the 90s.
Nice,
because there was a time when Cartoon Network, I think in 95 in Chinese New Year, for their Chinese New Year special.
I know.
24-hour run of Tom and Jerry. Non-stop
Nice.
siya. So I kind of did not study in that day just to watch Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Kasi
There's a
gusto ko siya, favorite ko talaga siya. And in this one, I didn't see anything bad for them in the movie. I'm sure there was a story that they partnered it in with the Tom and Jerry antics. Pero I like the story. Chloe Grace Moretz is the main character. She wasn't trying hard. I thought she did a good job. Michael Peña was also there, being an antagonist.
Interesting.
He did a great job. I hated his character kasi medyo coops. Medyo coops siya. Pero you know, it was a nice movie. I would definitely like to watch that again, mainly because of Tom and Jerry. So that's a yes movie for me. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that came out in 2014.
What? Seriously?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought it was a good movie. I remember that day when I saw that movie. Then I saw Guardians of the Galaxy in the same day. With my wife, who was my girlfriend back then. So pinanood namin siya, same day. As in, nung hapon. Then after that, we went on to another cinema and we bought tickets for TMNC. So, yun, nanood kami nun. I like that
double
movie.
feature, Oh.
Yep, it was double feature. I thought it was reminiscent of the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in 1989 or 1990.
Right.
So, yeah, I thought it had that same feeling. I liked it. You know, Michelangelo was comedic as usual. Was this Megan Fox?
Okay.
I think she was a good fit to be April O'Neil. Although parang yung pagiging reporter-ish niya was different from how April O'Neil is being portrayed in the cartoons as well as in the original movies. So, sayang, I would have loved to see other TMNT characters such as Casey Jones or Usagi Yojimbo or Slash. You know, those were the ones that I remember. Yung mga extra characters from TMNT. So yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed that movie. Other than that, you mentioned Tomb Raider as your no. It was a yes for me. I liked Tomb Raider movie. You also mentioned about yung Ghostbusters that you don't like. Honestly, I like that female version of Ghostbusters.
Okay.
I'm gonna draw a lot of flack from that, but I like the Ghostbusters 2016.
Sige, let's draw the line there. But probably a
what about
question
you?
that
Ikaw muna, sige. What about you? Because I mentioned about the yes movies for me, the yes remakes.
Yeah,
what
so
about you?
let me go through that quickly. But before that, you know, it's a question that we would be answering right after me listing down the yeses. Is, you know, what makes a good or bad remake or a reboot for us, right? So my yeses are Ocean's 8, which is the all-female cast or all-female heist cast crew. You know, which is I'm not calling it a direct sequel to the 11, 12, and 13.
11, 12,
But
13.
I like the Ocean's 8. Jurassic World, I'm a big fan of the original Jurassic World movies. So the most updated or the most recent version essentially is the Jurassic World. I like that. Mad Max Fury Road, you mentioned that as a no, but I placed that as a yes for me. Godzilla, the 2014 version, which has a sequel of Godzilla King of the Monsters. I actually rewatched some of that over a few days ago. I did like the basically the production of that one. I'll go into that later. And the last one on my list is the Star Wars movies. This is the new the
Wait,
7
that's a
to
yes
9.
for you?
It is a
Star
yes
Wars
for
7
me.
to 9?
Yeah, so are we starting with that?
No, let's go something
Yeah.
light. Kasi may mga konting, we do have some disagreements on that in that list of yours. Parang nabilang ko, Carlo, there were about 5 of in that list of remakes and revivals that we kind of disagree in, right? Ocean's 11, on my end, that's a slight no. I'm not saying Ocean's 8. Yeah, sorry. that's a slight no for me.
Okay.
Kasi parang I thought it was dull. I thought it was dull. I thought it didn't have any life at all. Well, redundant yun, sorry. Pero it didn't have life at all. Sandra Bullock as Debbie, as Danny
Debbie Ocean, yeah.
Danny Ocean. Danny Ocean's sister who came out of jail, tama ba?
Yep.
I thought
both of them actually.
Yun, I think because she was the lead or how her character was built, na parang lifeless or pretty dull. I thought I found her lifeless, or maybe it was how Sandra Bullock portrayed her. Yung ganun, no? I from there parang okay, sige, let's just see what this can do.
Okay.
I thought it tried to capture the charm ng 11, 12, and 13. Pero kasi yung 11 to 13, medyo light siya para sa akin eh. Parang hindi siya ganun kabigat. Ocean's 8 was.
Mabigat sa'yo yung 8?
Wait. Hindi siya mabigat. In a sense, I think the tone. Alam mo yun? Yung tone was hindi niya ako na-capture on that, weaving up and down roller coaster type of the way 11, 12, and 13 did.
Right.
That's my take, and yun nga, siguro probably Sandra Bullock's portrayal, I like her as an actress, pero I like her in The Blind Side, pero she just didn't. I thought she didn't bring it in Ocean's 8.
Well, here's the thing for me. So you're praising Ocean's 8 as somewhere between a no, but it's not a hard yes for you, correct?
It's not a hard no. It's not a hard yes. So it's not a hard yes. So it's a slight no because of yeah.
Okay.
Because of what I.
So my take on that one is I think I know where you're coming from when you say the charm of it is somewhat lost. I'm gonna go into why yung character ni Sandra Bullock with Debbie Ocean and so on in a bit. But the thing is, why I'm saying I kind of get your point is Steven Soderbergh, who is the director of the first three, 11, 12, and 13, has a distinct style. So if you watch similar movies, maybe you haven't, pero if you watch similar movies he directed like Contagion, even Magic Mike.
I like that movie, man.
Magic
like that
Mike.
movie.
See, Steven Soderbergh directed Magic Mike. And may distinct style siya. Yeah, no thanks, but I did watch that because of, just because it was Steven Soderbergh. And I watched it with
Really?
But anyway, yes, staving off the point here. Pero that's the thing May distinct style siya when he definitely played a lot into when he directed Ocean's 11 to 13. Sobrang ganda nung the way he told the story for 11 to 13. And I think the reason why most people will not like Ocean's 8, it's because iba yung director. But for me, that's why it's a hard yes for me. Why I like Ocean's 8 is they brought the movie they gave it their own character. Siguro yung chemistry with Kate Blanchett, yung other cast members like Aquafina, medyo may lacking of I guess chemistry even with actually all-star cast nga sila including si Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway was there. I think it's going to be an exciting if they make a sequel for that. Pero it's still a good heist movie. It's still relevant pa rin if you're comparing that to 11, 12, and 13 because of still references from the movie from the original trilogy with Ocean's 8 because there were some recurring characters there like Ruben and si yung Chinese guy. Oh my god, I forgot his name. I'm blanking on his name right now. But the thing is, apart from the references, apart from the heist I would say plotline, meron pa ring contrast between Danny and Debbie Ocean. So even though yung buong cast ng Ocean,
mas trip ko yung pagka-portray ni George Clooney kay Danny Ocean.
Right.
I mean, siguro mas nag-gravitate ako toward that thing.
Correct. Pero ang charm kasi ng 11, 12, and 13, the whole cast carried the movie. compared to 8 na naka-focus medyo kay Debbie Ocean lahat. No?
Yeah. Correct.
Right? So, I think doon yung nagkakaroon ng parang differentiation or that. But the thing is,
yung imbalance, no?
Yun yung, I think, yung room for improvement that the movie needs to take when they do make a sequel. Because, apart from direction, of course, obviously, hindi naman nila ma-retake unless Steven Soderbergh directs Ocean's 8 or 9, whatever the sequel is. Whoever is going to be directing that, they have their own take. They have their own take on the storytelling side of it. But the thing is, the balance of the characters should be there. The whole cast should be the one carrying the whole heist, not just centered on one character. But it was still a good movie for me. It was a good spin-off. It was a good sequel. So that's why one of the things I like is, of course, it was a story with themselves. It was a different crew.
Okay, let's move on from Ocean's 8. Nabanggit mo kanina, Carlo, Mad Max Fury Road. What's the deal? Why?
Okay, so ito yung this movie I specifically remember watching it in the cinema. I don't remember who I was with, but the thing is, the reason why I remember watching it in the cinema is because the whole time I was watching that, I was on the edge of my seat, pre. It was a jam-packed, action-packed movie na it just kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was a first movie-going experience na, I mean, sorry for my words, I mean, pucha, sobrang intense niya. Like, each sequence from the start up until the end of it, tuloy-tuloy yung action. It felt like it started off in a very high note. So, para kang orchestra na nag-start sa the highest notes. And then, it's just maintained there. Parang hindi siya bumababa. It's kind of like listening to Barney's Get Psyched mix. It's all rice, pre. It's all rice. So, yun yung... so, the plotline, of course, very good naman yung story niya. It was a deviation from the original Mad Max films. It might not have... Pwede natin i-consider siya as a sequel. Maybe not. Pero... It was a very original story. And sobrang yun yung parang the hook for me was really, it's a high intensity, good action sequences. That's why I really like that movie. What about you? It's a no for you, right?
It's a slight no. Medyo mababaw lang naman yung reason kung bakit siya slight no eh. I thought yung setting niya or yung theme. Yung theme itself, the backdrop and all that, I wasn't feeling it.
So you're not a fan of post-apocalyptic shit?
Oo. Okay. Ang babaw ng dating, but it's not that post-apocalyptic thing that I would be attracted to or that I would gravitate to. Iba naman kasi, for example, a post-apocalyptic setting like The Walking Dead or Waterworld. Yung ganun. I mean, that was interesting for me. I mean, those were interesting for me, right? But in terms of you being in the desert with all these dune buggies, tapos parang naka-hook si Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Okay.
I thought him being hooked in the car for like half the movie. Parang sobrang uncomfortable nito ng dating. Okay. I mean, sure. I mean, those kaya it's a slight no way, Carlo. Because those were just really a feel of uneasiness or me being uncomfortable with those things that I mentioned. Na hindi ko naman trip, at the same time. Being in a desert, parang walang kabuhay-buhay yung dating.
Talaga?
I didn't watch the first Mad Max, like the ones years and years ago.
Mel Gibson.
Just so I have an appreciation of this one. Even my brother was surprised na talaga hindi mo gusto. Parang hindi, it didn't capture my
so it probably the post-apocalyptic
hence it's a slight no. Aesthetic
just probably rubbed you the wrong way.
That particular post-apocalyptic setting didn't rub me the right way. The aesthetics of it all, hindi talaga siya parang sa akin. So, No, it's
Pero
not.
did you appreciate man lang the sequences, the action sequences?
Oh,
like
don't get me wrong. The action,
the story,
it was action packed. I like how they orchestrated the action scenes, yung chase. I mean, those were good. Don't get me wrong. Those were good. Okay. But yun nga, mas nangingibagbaw lang yung aesthetics for me.
Okay.
So,
sige, let's push forward. Okay, so that set us at least for Mad Max. So, one is at least not liking the post-apocalyptic themes behind it versus, the overall cinematography, action sequences, and so on. Let's go to Raider. So, there's two perspectives here. One is from the gamer side, which is me. And then you, obviously, who liked it, probably coming from a movie side of it. So let's start with you, pre. Kasi I'm interested to know why you like Tomb Raider.
I like Tomb Raider 2018 kasi parang ni-reset siya. The story itself of Lara Croft when she was going to start out from
origin story.
Kasi from what we know, the origin story. Thank you very much. The origin story of Lara Croft is something that caught my fancy. Deviating from the established Tomb Raider titles, even if I'm a gamer, I played Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 not so much. Pero Tomb Raider 2 and PlayStation X, PSX, I like that, especially with the cheats. So, pero it deviated from the established Lara Croft. From what we know about Lara Croft, being a veteran archaeologist, a rich with a rich background, not really rich background, pero who's rich? Ano yung tatay niya? Si Lord Croft? Ba?
Richard Croft.
Yeah. Yep. Lord Croft, with a big ass mansion. So siguro parang walang magawa to. Sige, magano ako. I would go on a adventure and find these artifacts and whatnot. And yun nga, maganda yung part na yung parang nag-rewind sila. How did Lara Croft start?
Right.
So, I like the action pack. I like the parts that she picked up a bow and arrow because it didn't show that. That wasn't showed in the video games. I forget about the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies. Kung may bow and arrow ba siya doon. Pero yeah, she was badass. She was badass there. And the girl and the actress who portrayed Tomb Raider, Alicia Vikander. Vikander. I thought she brought in the spunk of a young, athletic, driven yet foolish Lara Croft. Maganda yung angulo na yun. That's why I liked it. I know I know that in Rotten Tomatoes it didn't go well.
Right.
But again, F that Rotten Tomatoes. Why is it a no?
I think people are itching to I'm not sure. Maybe I'm the one who's itching to say the answer already. My question to you, Pre, before we move on. Did you play the Tomb Raider rebooted game?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yet. The Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Right? No. Rise of the Tomb Raider is the second one in the trilogy ng games. So it's Tomb Raider, the rebooted game, which is I'm not sure if it's 2014. Let me check on that one later. Then Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So these are the games and for the PS4.
Oh. No, man.
I think
the reason.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? I mean, that's the reason why it's a no for me. Because yung Tomb Raider na 2018, I agree with you, it's a rebooted story of Lara Croft because it directly takes from the original plotline nung Tomb Raider na version na game. And yun yung ikinaganda din nung rebooted refresh nung series because it told the origin story of Lara Croft. However, what doesn't work for me on that specific movie is it's a direct adaptation of the video game pero it missed out a lot of plot points dun sa original game itself. Maybe this is the Hollywood approach na they want to create a franchise based on the video game itself na may rebooted storyline na siya and they're doing their own interpretation. Pero what made the game great on the rebooted series is mas like what you said, there were several elements that you mentioned na it's a very human Lara. Nagkakaroon siya ng starting off point, evolving towards the Tomb Raider that we actually know and love based on her harrowing experiences. Nakalain mo, 'di ba, nagkaroon siya ng experience in Japan with the Himiko, the Queen Himiko, and so on. Pero ang daming niyang points that it just did not deliver from the original game. So kung magkakaroon ka ng direct translation from the original game to the movie, you would still keep some elements that really work. Kasi yung plotline nun basically was Lara being stranded on a deserted island, and then she finds out na may mga stragglers like yun nga yung character ni Matthias. It was a different storytelling kasi when the video game came out versus the movie. So I think yun lang yung nagkaroon sa akin ng miss for me. That's why I did not appreciate
because you're coming off from the video game perspective.
Yun. So yun yung parang perspective natin dalawa there. It's just from different viewpoints right now na meron akong point of comparison, and you appreciating it on a perspective na on a movie and storyline itself only, right? Pero if you're, again, Tomb Raider being a video game, originally being a video game, nagkaroon siya ng konting difference na, and I think that's where the miss is for me.
Okay. Let's move on from that. The fourth movie was Ghostbusters 2016, the female Ghostbusters. Why is it a no for you, man?
It was honestly, it was the original, again, medyo dito yung ko ng bias ko with me being original versus the new one kind of perspective. It was parang disjointed siya for me. It wasn't as good as storytelling as it should have. Hindi siya nagkaroon ng, again, I'm looking for the cohesiveness talaga nung storytelling. I mean, don't get me wrong, the performance of the four, especially with the Melissa McCarthy right in the middle, which is comedic genius, to be honest with you. Kasi I'm actually a very big fan of her. However, wala lang, parang I don't get the same chemistry na nakuha ko from watching the old Ghostbusters. Or even, just watching
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, all those guys, right?
The heydays of the original Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, good God. Anyway, yun lang yun. What? Aykroyd. No, man. Dan Aykroyd and the gang, absolutely may iba talaga yung charm nung nakuha ko from the original ones. And that's the thing that was lacking for me with the 2016 version of the Ghostbusters. But yeah, yun yung just the disappointment of me. And it was actually parang disappointment din in the box office A lot of also critics panned it as I don't know, parang hindi lang siya that's a good movie, to be honest with you. But I'm interested to know why it's a yes for you, man.
It's a new flavor, I would say. Iba yung dynamics ng dinala nila Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones, and Melissa McCarthy. I mean, sure, with an epal of a Chris Hemsworth. Thor be damned, di ba? But I like the dynamics that they brought. It was a different flavor nga. I was particularly interested with Kate McKinnon's portrayal na parang wiry and wily Ghostbuster siya. Na parang she has this, gusto ko yung part na meron siyang yung parang cowboy na dalawang baril. She has that meron siyang
gunslinger style. Blah, blah.
Parang gunslinger style. No, right. I like that part. I don't like the dance that they had to do in like they did in Times Square. That was lame in all honesty for me. They could have done it. They could have done it without that. Pero yeah, I thought it was a good movie. Honestly, my niece, she liked that movie. Natuwa siya doon, and maybe it was really her. The market was really geared toward kids kasi ang light lang niya. It wasn't really serious. And maybe that's how it was with kids in the 80s. So the original Ghostbusters kasi parang geared towards them. Like, geared towards them, even though there were some sexual content with Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver nung time na yun. I think you wouldn't. I mean, I think as a kid you wouldn't have thought it as that. But
Right.
Peter Venkman, kasi di ba parang swabe naman siya. He's a pretty boy guy, so parang matatawa na lang yung kids nun, di ba? How he was
Right.
with Sigourney Weaver or yung advances niya. But it's different now, no? Because the kids these days, maybe yun nga, yung and the girl kids, maybe nagkaroon ng appreciation sa kanila. I'm just basing it on my niece, no? Na she really liked that movie, even though it was pilloried and crucified on YouTube, having the worst trailer daw ever. So for me, I thought, I like that movie.
Okay.
Even if Out of This World si Leslie Jones, even if the Ecto 1 or the Hearst that they were using was more, it reminded me of a WWE championship belt na parang ganun yung appearance ng dating niya. It was kind of a futuristic type. It was way different from the original Ecto 1. I was disappointed with that. But yeah, in spite of those things, the dance, the Ecto 1 that really wasn't, I wasn't feeling it. For me, it was still a good movie. I know I'll draw a lot of flack. I don't care. Pero it's a movie. So
Okay, yeah, well, I respect that definitely.
Respect
again,
it, yeah.
okay, right. And the last thing on our list, pre, is the Star Wars.
Oh,
the new
here
Star
we
Wars
go.
trilogy. Okay, ito na.
Who's gonna go first? You or me?
Go first.
I want to find out why you like it.
Okay. Kasi, here's where I'm coming from, okay? I'm not that of a Star Wars fan, first of all. Hindi ako, I'm not as big into it compared to my obsession with Harry Potter, first of all. The way I will be approaching Harry Potter is not going to be the same with the way I'm going to be approaching Star Wars. However, upon watching, and I'm including the spin-offs here, which is, so there's 7 to 9, Rise of Skywalker. Let me see. I don't even remember them.
Last Jedi. I thought you
Last
liked it.
Jedi. Huh? Ano yan?
I thought you liked Star Wars 7 to 9. Are you crossing
No.
over to the note because you forget the titles?
No. So there's Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, right? And I'm including the spin-off, which is the one with oh god.
Mandalorian?
No. Mandalorian's actually pretty good as well. Pero okay, let's focus on the 7 to 9 first.
7 to
The
9.
reason why I like them is because, again, this is the one of the few rare instances na hindi na nagkakaroon ng comparison with, like, for example, Ocean's 8, Soderbergh versus the new director. Ngayon, George Lucas, probably one of the most influential directors of our time, with Spielberg there. Pero si J.J. Abrams took over the 7 to 9, right? So,
Just the 7th.
just the 7th, right, okay. But
He
the 7 to
directed
9,
the 7th.
the 7 to 9, for me, it kind of tied in to, the original plus the second phase and then this third phase. It kind of tied in things together for me. There were some things that was closed out, na parang they were trying to close the loop out, and then it just felt cohesive for me as an overall franchise from the beginning up until the end. Now, in terms of yung direction and yung character of the movie itself, yes, there is a definite change when the directors were changed. Obviously, that would be the most obvious answer. So the only merit that comes from me, why I liked it, it was still a spaced opera that was done well. Yun yung parang clincher ko for the 7 to 9 movies. And again, the main point for me, cohesive siya. It looped in a lot of stories or plot lines for me. And yeah, so that's why I like them. Okay, your turn.
My turn. It's not a hard no, FYI.
Okay.
Because I really like the Star Wars the episode 7, The Force Awakens. In fact, there were times that I had it in my phone, and then in traffic, pinapanood ko lang siya. Pinapanood ko siya in traffic. I know it's wrong, but yeah. I mean, hindi naman yung tipong habang cruising on 100 kilometers per hour in the highway, doon ako nanonood, eyes on that. No, not that. Pag traffic lang. Okay? But yeah, I know it's wrong. Anyway.
Okay.
I like that. I can rewatch over and over episode 7. Episode 8 and 9, I thought it was different. Hindi lang niya na-capture yung how, because I can't help but compare it to 4, 5, 6 and 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Right? I had a different feeling when I was watching Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. I enjoyed it. And not as much as, I understood why episode 5 is really that damn good for me. When I grew, kasi nung kid ako parang, natalo sila Luke, natalo sila Leia, boo, nung kwenta. Then when I grew, parang, so yun pala yun. So that's why it was good. Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back was good. So, and then Star Wars 1 to 3, parang, I thought the storyline from 1 to 3, especially when Anakin Skywalker turned to the dark side, on how it gripped, and how it got me, and then lured me to something like a heavy feeling na parang, that was sad. Parang, ang tanga mo, Skywalker, whatever, right? I mean, those, I wasn't there. And then, ito naman, 8 and 9, parang ako, I wasn't getting into it. I mean, the story was, sure, the
so
sequences. No, hindi siya lumilis. But it's more of, parang, I just wasn't getting any connection to that story on how 8 and 9 was made. And then, the part, yung 9, I thought that was, hindi talaga eh. Especially when they, I thought it was lame. Episode 9, I thought it was lame.
Why?
Overall, I thought it was lame. It's like they were rushing to make it, they're rushing to make everything and then have some references to the past movies. Trying to fill it in, trying to put it in just one box. Pag siksik mo siya dun, then bahala na. Parang ganun yung dating niya with all the references to previous movies. Mga tributes nila. I thought it was done in that way. Pinagsiksik na parang walang kwenta.
Right.
And then when Rey and Kylo Ren kissed, parang you could have left that out, man. They're not. Why? Parang bakit? They should have done that. I mean, not for anything. Kasi parang ang anticlimactic, parang gagawin nila. Because audiences were expecting them to do that. It would have been better if they didn't. Kasi parang, akala ko no, it was not like that. And then you're telling me that Emperor Palpatine is actually the Skywalker bloodline? That was lame. That was forced. Pun intended.
Actually, that's where maybe I think, I'm not speaking for a lot of Star Wars fans right now. And, if you're happy to comment, guys, please let us know because probably we need some insight on this. Okay. I really did get that. Palpatine, Skywalker, bloodline stuff.
Yeah, that was honestly, I found that really stupid. Yung part na yun is pilit talaga. And then all of a sudden parang Rey was, having every Jedi's spirit parang sinapian siya to be stronger.
Yep.
Really?
I kind of get that. I think I'm gonna go back why I like the 7 to 9. I'm gonna go back to some reasons why I like 7 to 9. So apart from being it's a tie-in, right? It kind of delivered some key points, at least on the storytelling side, to round off if you're looking at the overall picture. Pero I agree, there will be some instances na that did not make any sense, or I specifically did not like that. Yon. Pero again, in terms of how the story is being told for a franchise that was let go by George Lucas from the original to the second phase and then with the new ones, I think it still did some justice to it. Yun lang yung masasabi ko about that.
The new direction, the Disney direction is really not the direction that I was really hoping for. Ang bad trip din kasi sa move na yun is parang disregard nila yung the George Lucas universe, the George Lucas Star Wars universe. They disregarded that. That was really a bad move. Parang they were trying to they're trying to make their own Star Wars. They're trying to make their own Star Wars universe with 7 to 9. I mean, sure, 7 did some fan tributes, which I really enjoyed. I think that was the purpose of that movie, to really to really get the fans from yesterday and relive in a new way the fans of 4, 5, 6 and 1, 2, and 3 to relive the Star Wars of the new universe. No?
Okay.
And then 8, 9, it just went haywire. It just really went bad. Oh, by the way, that final battle with of the New Republic, not the New Republic, of the Resistance and the
New Order.
The First Order.
First Order.
Tapos yung, New
Order.
Avengers Endgame wants that final scene sequence back. They called and they want that final scene sequence back. The final battle and how it unfolded, they want that back. That was lame, really. Parang, matatalo tayo and all that. Oh, we're gonna lose. And then, darating si Lando. Oh, we're here. All of a sudden, ang daming shit.
Kumbaga, the cavalry has arrived.
Cavalry has arrived and all that. Parang, really? Parang gagawin nyo to. We've seen it done in Avengers and how it was masterfully done. And you ruined it, Disney. What the hell? Sorry, I'm really... Feeling ko first time lang lumalabas on how passionate I really didn't like. How I didn't like that last movie. And it wasn't the same feeling... Because when I walked out of the movie theaters, it wasn't the same feeling that I felt in The Force Awakens, where I was, sarap, solid siya, ang saya, great. All the raves, man, and that. To the point that our friend EJ wanted to rain on my parade by saying, it was okay, blah, blah, blah. Kasi hindi pa rin nakikita and all that shit, right? Anyway, so, I was reading all the raves, 7. But 8, 9, parang,
okay.
And especially 9, it was a total letdown. Thank God Disney, you're bringing back the Mandalorian and all that.
I think
right move.
I think that's the same reason. I think I would have the same reaction with again with Harry Potter and even with Fantastic Beasts right now. There were some deviations, I would say, na pili ngayon yung lang ginagawa yan. Talagang okay. But the thing with Star Wars, there was a movie. The Disney bought it out. So this was an entrant, to the Disney stage of the storyline, which is kind of sad na sinabi mo na it did not really regard to the universe of George Lucas. But with the fan lore, with the not really fan lore, the lore of the universe of Star Wars, there were some actually items that kind of interested me. And one of the things I read as well na there's a certain canon din na sinusundan ni Disney going forward with the storytelling of the new, I guess, the updated Star Wars, right? It really has turned into a very big, even further, or they're turning it even further with this new line, especially under the Disney banner this time around. Okay.
Don't give a shit.
So, that's the rundown of the movies that we've actually liked and did not like. Obviously, Chip and I had some disagreements or agreements with some of these movies. But let's do a quick, very quick fire round here, Chip, before we resolve everything with our match point. So, just some quick takes on some future movies. I know before we started this episode, we were already talking about some upcoming movies already, right? So you want to go ahead and name them?
I am looking forward to watching Ghostbusters Afterlife. Which features Stranger Things. Merong ganun na Stranger Things flavor. Na vibe. Si Ghostbusters Afterlife because Finn Wolfhard is in that movie. Paul Rudd is also going to be in that movie.
Actually,
the trailer was great.
Yun,
and when I saw the Ecto 1, the Ecto 1 that was shown there, parang kinilig ako dun, honestly. That's one of the reasons why I'm excited also. So parang it's a fast forward 20-30 years from the original Ghostbusters.
This would be siguro the way I'm seeing it from the trailer, this would be a better justification or a significant significantly better approach towards the Ghostbusters franchise, right? Comparing it to the 2016. It's much more exciting kasi it actually, parang nagto-throwback talaga siya dun sa mga original. Kasi ako, when I saw the trailer, I saw the equipment, I saw the old, the Ghost Mobile, kung ano what you call that. And
Ecto
yeah,
1.
so I'm Ecto 1. That's, I'm actually excited about that. Well, we already mentioned Top Gun, Maverick. You mentioned
Top Gun,
Space
Maverick,
Jam 2.
I'm also excited about that. Space Jam 2, I also am intrigued. More than excited, I'm intrigued on how that would be pulled off. There were issues already, like Lola Bunny, who doesn't look like the old Lola Bunny, and they canceled Pepe Le Pew. I don't know why, because in the original Space Jam, Pepe Le Pew wasn't doing his thing. So parang canceling him was canceling him was for me idiotic. That was so much an idiotic move.
Diyan ako nanggagaling when it comes to my apprehensions toward the sequel of Space Jam. Kasi...
Oh, okay. I thought it was because of LeBron. Come on, man.
Well, not really with LeBron, but again, ako, big fan ako ni Mel Blanc. The original voices of almost all of the Looney Tunes characters, right? The Space Jam version, obviously may mga specific voice-overs na doon or voice characters na doon for all the characters. I think they still did some justice to how close it was to the original Bugs Bunny and the gang. Pero, again, medyo dubious lang, medyo cynical, not really dubious. I'm just cynical on how this one will be playing out.
In corporate parlance, you're just managing your expectations.
Managing my expectations, absolutely.
Okay.
Pero, it was a dick.
Intriguing.
It was a dick move talaga. Why? I mean, Pepe Le Pew. Kasi favorite ko yun Pepe Le Pew That's one of my favorites apart from Bugs and Daffy.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, I'm looking forward. Well, there's a rumor that Ace Ventura 3 is going to be made. Jim Carrey's going to come back and reprise the iconic role of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I heard the writers of Sonic the Hedgehog, where Jim Carrey also starred as the villain of that movie, and it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Also, I think it received good reviews, and but I haven't seen it, so maybe I'll go see it one of these days. I am looking forward to that. I mean, I want to know how Jim Carrey can pull his comedic ways on how he did Ace Ventura 1 and Ace Ventura 2. Obviously, the Ace Ventura, the son of Ace Ventura spin-off, it's going to be left in the garbage where it should belong. I think they're going to cancel that, so not gonna be part of canon, Ace Ventura canon. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. Just because really it's Ace Ventura, right?
Okay. Yeah,
and
me
then
too.
One more
I would
thing.
like to see that.
Yeah, one more that I'm looking forward to is Marvel Phase 4. What's going to be after Tony Stark? I mean, sure, we've already been seeing WandaVision. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is already showing also. It's already coming about. And they have a whole lineup of TV series and movies
puro TV
for Phase 4.
Movies, okay.
Yeah, no, and movies also. And then that would culminate with another Avengers movie later on. Kasi
Seriously?
lalabas, yep,
Interesting.
lalabas sila Loki. Loki will have his own TV series. I already mentioned about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I forget if the Black Widow is part of Phase 4 also. I am also looking forward to Spider-Man's No Way Home, the third installment of the Tom Holland
I saw that too.
Star franchise.
I mean,
right?
I saw the trailer. Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm also looking forward how it is. There's this Asian dude named Shang-Chi. Parang inspiration niya is Bruce Lee. Yeah. Wait, who that is?
Bruce Lee. Okay.
So parang ganun yung inspiration niya, no? At least from the comics perspective. Tapos may mga elements na lumabas that could form the Young Avengers, no? The Young Avengers that would comprise of, I think, Speed, yung dalawang anak ni Wanda and Vision, si Speed tsaka si Hulkling. Si Speed tsaka si Wiccan. And then there's that superhero named Hulkling as in Hulk and Ling. So parang it's another version of Hulk. And then you have a young Hawkeye, no, in Kate Bishop, as in woman, a girl Hawkeye siya. Pero she took the mantle of Hawkeye after Hawkeye died. That was in the comics.
Okay.
And after she was beaten to the pulp in a comic storyline, and then later on, parang she picked up the mantle of being Hawkeye, and she was badass. No, I think they were going to cast Haley Steinfeld for that, as Kate Bishop. So again, it's exciting times for Marvel Phase 4. That's what I'm gonna look for.
Well, if it's going to be the same caliber as what we have, again, I'm not that big of a Marvel comic book fan, but the thing is, I have gotten some appreciation, and my appreciation led to research and going did a deep dive with the backstories of these characters from the Marvel universe. So if that's the same caliber we're expecting from the ones we've already seen, then Phase 4 is going to deliver that same quality. I'm excited to see that as well. Okay, let's do some quick fires as well, Chip. Maybe if we have been discussing movies that are either a yes or a no for us when it comes to whether it has served the remake, reboot purpose of it. But are there any franchises or movies that you feel that maybe wag niyong galawin to? It's a do not touch for you. Kasi for me...
yeah, go ahead. What about you? Quickly.
For me, God, ito pag ginalaw talaga nila, magsuntukan na lang. Promise. The Godfather is absolutely a no touch for me. Don't ruin that. Francis Ford Coppola, Mario Puzo collaboration. That's already a done deal. That's a automatic classic already. Back to the Future as well. For God's sakes, let's not do another trilogy on that one. I know it's tempting. Yeah, I know it's tempting with yung time period natin is 2021. What does the future look like in 2045? If it will be still Robert Zemeckis, probably it would still stand some chance into being another classic. Pero for now, it's a no touch for me. Indiana Jones. Here's the thing about Indiana Jones, kasi yung fourth one, although it was directed by Steven Spielberg, the Crystal Skull was like a letdown, like what I said at the start. So the original trilogy still stands for me as one of the greatest action adventure movies of all time. Like quick run through James Bond. This is a different conversation altogether, but it's still worth mentioning because every generation naman has a James Bond, right? Pero going back to some questions you asked me before we started, does it deserve female James Bond or probably a black James Bond? Yes, I would actually like to see that kind of change, especially that there's again different interpretations of the 00 license with this franchise. On the musical side, Sound of Music. And just to put it out there as well, for rom-coms, all-time classic for me is really Nothing Can Eat. So that's my quick part. Do not touch these movies as much as possible. Lay off. Get your mittens off these movies. So please.
Quick fire for me, do not touch movies. Love Actually. It was one of a kind.
Sorry.
Richard Curtis, very terrific director. I love his other movies, like About Time. Also, ganun ginawa niya dun. But Love Actually, the movie itself was really good. Kakaiba siya. That's what I can say.
I didn't know.
I've rewatched that a million times.
I didn't know Richard Curtis also was involved with About Time. Pero I absolutely. He was. About Time is a good it's a good rom-com staple. I would say. Other
movies that I think do not touch. Jerry Maguire. I don't think it deserves a franchise. It should be a standalone. Let's leave it at that. Maybe they can explore. Maybe you can have a story of how it is with agents, but how Jerry Maguire was done by Cameron Crowe. Truly deserving of an Oscar nomination. And another franchise for me that they should not touch. For like, ito perspective ko in a sense that I don't think you can make another franchise or reboot or recreate it without its star actor or its celebrity actor. The Mission Impossible franchise. I don't think you can do it without Tom Cruise. Because Tom Cruise as far as the 90s movies up to the latest installment of Mission Impossible, it has always been about Tom Cruise.
He owns it.
Yeah, parang yun ano na sa kanya eh. Or sige,
but literally
it's not Tom Cruise, but Ethan Hunt. Ethan Hunt cannot be anymore played by anyone other than Tom Cruise. So
it's not like a James Bond deal na it can change, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So let's do a quick match point lang, Carlo. I know we've had some segments here that na parang match point na rin the thing. Pero let's round everything up with what we learned today. What about, what's our take on remakes and reboots? Is Hollywood doing too much, or they should just keep going with the remakes? What's your final take? What's your match point?
My final take and my match point for this episode is there has to be some caution when it comes to rebooting or remaking films, because like anything else, or like any movie that you're gonna be catching on a big screen or streaming online these days, it's going to be a hit or miss. Either you're going to be affecting a lot of fans or a lot of critics with touching a franchise this established or this beloved already, against what? I mean, what's the purpose of remaking or rebooting a series? Is it going to be a fresh take, or is it introducing a new generation of fans towards an original story? So there's a lot of factors that comes in, right? And an example with this would be Tomb Raider. So there's different perspectives from gamers, there's different perspectives from moviegoers, and to combine that is really a very challenging thing to do. So with me, for remakes and reboots, there's going to be a lot of caution coming into that when you are trying to remake or reboot these movies. But it has to be a carefully... the way some of these movies, maybe nagkakaroon siya ng demand from the fans, nagkakaroon siya ng hype from the fans through either social media or whatnot. However, it has to be a calculated thing, because it defines movie history at this stage. And there's going to be a stage in cinematic history wherein we have this pandemic period na nagkakaroon ka ng difference wherein there's not really a chance to go to the movies. The movie going experience is different, and you're watching it, streaming it online. So there's a siguro nagkakaroon lang din ng separation of the experience itself. There's the movie going, physical going to the movie theaters versus streaming it online. So the effect is different. I'm not saying the effect is greater than the other. It's just different. So there has to be a lot of caution for me. That's my match point.
That's your match point. Ako, quick match point lang is what's my take on remakes and reboots? At some point, nakasawa. I think there would be a case of fatigue when it comes to that one. I mean, Hollywood should just continue to have very good storylines. I mean, they can, if they have good writers, if they have excellent writers. There are a lot of excellent writers. It's just that maraming stories kasi that are not being produced, are not being made, are not being created for everyone to see. So parang it's being left in there. It's being just left to rot or whatever. It's not being picked up. I hope whatever good story, whatever excellent story na pwedeng gawin ng mga writers, anything on top of anything that you can think of, just keep on making them. And, and hoping that they can be picked up. Ako, honestly, Carlo, I would really like to sit down and have my own, I don't know, screenplay or something. Of course, I would just collaborate with some veteran writer, diba? Pero it's actually one of the things that I would like to do. Have a screenplay made and have that, have a script made and have a screenplay made. Ako, a bucket list, siguro. Not that I'm self-promoting, but it's really something that, people should just keep on creating new movies, new stories, unique movies, unique flicks, diba?
Yep.
Be it on TV, be it for movies. So, remakes and reboots, again, it's okay, but at some point, it may cause a fatigue for the time being. Okay, so that's my match point. Yeah.
Match point it is. So that's the buzzer for another episode. Woohoo! Grabe, init ang usapan natin tonight, Chip, Nice. So that's it for now, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking it out on this episode. Before we go, as always, please visit thegamehigh.ph, our website, to get the latest content, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at thegamehighph.
Yep, and of course, if you have any suggestions, violent reactions, or basically your thoughts on our current episode, we would definitely love to hear from you. Hit us up in the comment section or message us through our Facebook or Instagram pages. Thanks for listening, guys. This is Chip.
And this is Carlo.
Cheers. We'll see you then.
Ciao.